Welcome back to CTV Morning Live. As we all know, it's gotten a lot colder over the last couple of days. We've got the heat going up. We've got a lot of Christmas lights going up. Linda Bruce is here from Hydro Ottawa. Great to have you back on the show.
Thanks very much.
And you're here to help us out a little bit because at this point it's going to become overwhelming when we start to see the consumption use going up.
That's true. Holiday lights are probably a big thing. And the other thing that we wanted to talk about today was phantom power. So all of those things in your house that have little red lights on them, that's why we brought some power bars with timers.
These are really neat because you have the timer aspect to it.
Yeah, it'll shut everything off and then turn it back on when you need to, particularly things like home entertainment. Or computer systems, things like that in your home, or charging stations. All those cell phone chargers that are still plugged in the wall, they're sucking a little bit of electricity even though there's nothing attached to it. So you could set up a charging station for everything electronic in your house.
Well, that's the thing, right? I'll plug my charger in at night as I'm heading to bed, but after a couple of hours or an hour or two, it's done. Yeah. So it'll shut things down completely.
It can shut things down completely. The other timer is this heavy-duty one for outside, for your holiday lights. So you can set it to a variety of times. It'll come on. It has a sensor. It'll come on at dusk. It'll stay on for 6 hours or 4 hours, whatever you choose. And again, that's a great thing in the world of LED Christmas lights that don't use as much electricity. You don't necessarily, you may be thinking, well, why would I bother with this? But again, if you're not using LED lights, you definitely would want to have them on a timer. The other thing, too, is if you happen to have a block heater on your car, if you're using a block heater, putting a timer on it is a great thing because, again, it doesn't need to be plugged in all night. It just needs to be plugged in for a couple of hours before you leave in the morning.
So it'll come on, about an hour or two before you're actually heading out the door to be able to do that. So pretty much it's time consumption, really, that you're thinking about is being smarter with the amount of time that things are actually being used.
That's right. The other thing that people should remember at this time of year, too, is to actually program your programmable thermostat. You don't need to be heating your house while you're not there. So if you actually program it to come on just, an hour or so before, or maybe even not that much, an hour before you come home from the office or your kids are home from school. And do you really need to heat your house while you're sleeping? You're really nice and snuggy under all of those blankets. You don't necessarily need to heat the house. So you can drop it back at night and it comes on before you get up in the morning. It's great.
What happens when we're constantly playing with it? Are we actually using more energy by having to kind of reboot the system?
Well, no, but you have to keep in mind that by putting the temperature up, it's not going to get there any faster. Your system is still going to work that way. So, if you set it at a comfortable temperature and just leave it, that's perfectly fine. And like I say, there's no need to heat the house while you're not there.
One of the things that you mentioned as we were talking about, and I remember this from last year, is the fan.
Absolutely. If you have ceiling fans, it would be a good time to check. In the summer, you want to force the air down, but in the winter, you want to force the air up. And most ceiling fans are reversible, so it's probably a really good time to reverse your fan.
And that's the thing. It's just the reminder to be able to do that.
That's right.
That will make a difference.
Yeah, it will.
What are we looking at? I know in terms of the overall consumption, how are we doing? There's been a lot of different shifts, a lot of people looking at how they can monitor their house, and this is something you're looking into right now as well.
Yeah, it is. Time of use rates, almost everyone in Ottawa will be on them by the end of this year. I know that I personally just got my bill and I don't notice any difference in my consumption, but then I'm
what's going on.
Because I know this, I always do my laundry, in the off-peak times. So I think that there really are some things that folks can do around the house to shift to different time periods. And now that the off-peak is from 7 till 7, that's 12 hours every day. So what's it take to put your laundry in after 7 o'clock or to start the dishwasher later?
Definitely changes that you can make. Some very small changes right now in terms of getting the timers and having these systems on and off when you know that you don't need to be consuming and using a lot of the products that you have in your house. You've been very generous in giving us a basket with a lot of these products in there, valued at $150, and we're going to be giving this away this morning via email. Ottawa contest at ctv.ca. Ottawa contest at ctv.ca. Let us know one of the suggestions that Linda made for us this morning. List one of the suggestions that Linda made, and you have the opportunity to win the $150 gift basket. Thanks. Great to see you.
Yeah, you too.
We are going to take a quick visit out to Sarah Freemark, who's been checking things out in Rockland at Joel's Coffee House.